What happens when the most storied franchise in baseball history gets outbid, outmaneuvered, and left standing at the altar while their crosstown rivals dance away with the prize? The New York Yankees just experienced exactly that kind of gut punch, and the fallout reveals everything you need to know about where this organization stands heading into 2026. While Yankees fans finally exhaled after Cody Bellinger's 5-year, $162 million deal became official, a significant raise from his previous $80 million contract, the celebration was bittersweet. Behind the scenes, General Manager Brian Cashman was swinging for the fences on deals that would have transformed this rotation from questionable to dominant, only to watch those opportunities slip through his fingers like a breaking ball in the dirt. According to John Heyman of the New York Post, the Yankees made serious inquiries about Detroit Tigers' ace Tarik Skubal, a left-handed flamethrower who dominated the American League and represents exactly the kind of frontline starter the Bronx desperately needs. But here's where it gets painful. Detroit's asking price was so astronomical that one Yankees insider described it as costing half our team. We're talking about a package that would have gutted the farm system and potentially included major league talent that Cashman simply wasn't willing to sacrifice. Meanwhile, the Yankees also explored acquiring Milwaukee's Freddie Peralta, only to watch the New York Mets swoop in and complete that deal instead. Imagine being a Yankees fan, watching your biggest rival land, the pitcher you were targeting. It's like getting rejected at prom, and then watching your crush leave with your neighbor. The Skubal situation is particularly fascinating when you examine the financial landscape. The 28-year-old southpaw is currently battling Detroit in arbitration, with his camp requesting $32 million for 2026, while the Tigers countered at $19 million. That's a $13 million gap that signals just how valuable Skubal has become. But here's the real kicker. Spotrac projects Skubal's eventual market value at an 8-year, $299 million contract. Think about that for a moment. The Yankees would need to not only surrender a king's ransom in prospects and players to acquire Skubal, but they'd also be committing to a contract that would make him one of the highest-paid pitchers in baseball history. For a franchise already carrying massive payroll obligations and facing luxury tax penalties, that's a decision that requires serious consideration, especially when ace Gerrit Cole is expected back in the first half of the season and young phenom Cam Schlittler is ready for a full campaign. Let's dig deeper into what this failed pursuit really means for the Yankees' championship aspirations and organizational philosophy. The Bellinger signing, while important, was essentially damage control, bringing back a productive player who opted out of his previous deal to test free agency. The real story is what the Yankees didn't accomplish. By missing out on both Skubal and Peralta, New York is banking heavily on internal development and the return of injured pieces. That's a risky strategy for a franchise that hasn't won a World Series since 2009, especially in a division that features the Baltimore Orioles' young core and the Toronto Blue Jays' aggressive rebuild. The Skubal scenario reveals a fundamental tension in modern baseball: the gap between contending teams willing to mortgage the future and franchises trying to maintain sustainable success. Detroit knows exactly what they have in Skubal, a 2024 Cy Young Award winner who posted a microscopic ERA and struck out batters at an elite rate. When the Tigers say they want half the team, they're not exaggerating. We're likely talking about a package headlined by multiple top 100 prospects, potentially including players like Jason Dominguez, Spencer Jones, or Chase Hampton, plus established major leaguers who could contribute immediately. The Yankees' reluctance to meet that price suggests they've drawn a line in the sand about prospect depletion, which is admirable in theory, but potentially devastating in practice if the rotation falters. Consider the broader context of the Yankees' pitching situation. Gerrit Cole, while still elite, is recovering from injury and will be 35 years old this season. Carlos Rodon has been inconsistent since signing his massive contract. Marcus Stroman is a solid mid-rotation arm, but not an ace. Clark Schmidt showed promise before his injury, but remains unproven over a full season. Nestor Cortez is crafty, but lacks overpowering stuff. This is a rotation that screams for an impact addition, yet the Yankees watched Peralta, A 28-year-old right-hander with electric stuff and team control go to the Mets instead. That's not just a missed opportunity, it's a competitive advantage handed directly to your crosstown rival. Mets fans are probably still laughing. The financial implications extend beyond just Skubel's projected $299 million payday. The Yankees are already committed to massive contracts for Aaron Judge, Gerrit Cole, and others. Adding Bellinger's $162 million deal increases their luxury tax burden significantly. Every dollar matters when you're trying to build a championship roster while staying below certain tax thresholds that trigger draft pick penalties and international signing restrictions. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Championship windows don't stay open forever. Aaron Judge is 33 years old. Gerrit Cole is 35. This roster is built to win now, not 3 years from now. By refusing to pay the premium for Skubel, the Yankees may be prioritizing fiscal responsibility over championship probability, a calculation that won't matter much if October ends in disappointment again. So, where do the Yankees go from here? The Bellinger signing provides offensive stability and defensive versatility, but it also creates a fascinating roster crunch. Jason Dominguez, the organization's most hyped prospect in years, now finds himself without a clear position. As Chris Kirschner of The Athletic pointed out, the Yankees don't view Dominguez as a center fielder, and with Bellinger, Juan Soto, and Aaron Judge occupying the corner outfield spots, there's simply no room. The designated hitter spot belongs to Giancarlo Stanton, though his injury history suggests at-bats will be available. This creates an intriguing trade scenario. Could Dominguez become the centerpiece of a deadline deal for pitching if the Yankees fall short in their current rotation configuration? The reality is that New York's offseason strategy has been reactive rather than proactive. They've addressed immediate needs without making the bold, franchise-altering move that signals championship urgency. Meanwhile, teams like the Mets are aggressively upgrading, the Dodgers continue spending like there's no salary cap, and the Phillies are retooling around their core. The American League East remains brutally competitive, and standing still is the same as moving backward. The Yankees still have options. They could revisit trade talks for controllable starters, explore the remaining free agent market, or trust that internal development and health will be enough. But each passing day, without a significant rotation upgrade, feels like a missed opportunity in a season where expectations remain sky-high. Here's the bottom line. The Yankees re-signed Cody Bellinger and avoided disaster, but they didn't achieve greatness. They explored blockbuster trades for Tarik Skubel and Freddie Peralta, but ultimately walked away empty-handed. Now they're betting on Gerrit Cole's return, Cam Schlittler's development, and Clark Schmidt's health to carry a rotation that looks dangerously thin on paper. For a franchise with 27 championships and the highest expectations in baseball, that's a gamble that could define the entire season. What do you think? Did the Yankees make the right call protecting their prospects, or should they have paid whatever it took to land Skubel? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're as fired up about this as we are, smash that like button, and let's keep this conversation going. The Yankees' championship window is closing, and every decision from here on out could be the difference between parade confetti and another winter of regret.